Modicon.
Is this thing on? Is video rolling? Okay, this is Anything But Ethernet. It is 6 o'clock, well, a little bit after 6 on... Is it Saturday? I hope it's Saturday. Okay. If it's a Saturday, it must be Cleveland. And we're setting up. We got 2 serious entries to the competition this year. One of which aims to put 300 baud data over voice over IP through acoustic couplers. The other of which is a unidirectional link that transmits data through radio and semaphore and homemade thermal printer. And we have a little more setup to do. We just assembled these rigs in the next room, carted them in here, and they're being recommissioned. How's it going? Cool. All right, so in a few minutes we should have things running. In the meantime, let's talk about, I don't know, want to talk about what's in each setup? Or are you too busy setting up?
Actually make this thing work again. It works.
All right.
And then I started down and wandered over here. Guys, you're in the same category? Okay. I'll jump to Luke describing how this is supposed to work first. He works on his. And with any luck, his will be working by the time I'm done describing mine. I'll put mine online. Okay. So this was a horrible mistake called go through my basement, find anything I can, plug it together. Theoretically, this should be a link. It starts at this end. Serial, 300 baud. Well, okay. Actually, the modem, when it first comes up, is 2400 baud, but after it executes the first connection, the modem serial port has to match the speed of the connection that it's on, because it's such a decrepit modem. I got it on my 11th birthday.
Every spot is a 300 for power, right?
Oh, excellent.
No need for shipping.
Okay, so comes from serial. Modem expects to connect to a telephone line, but we have one of these acoustical coupler yanked out of Nate's basement. The acoustical coupler will be plugged into this Budgetone $60 Grandstream phone. Theoretically works really well, in theory. So this gets wedged on here, taped together carefully, and at which point it's now SIP protocol over Ethernet. Yes, I had to use Ethernet. I couldn't get rid of it. Mostly because the Budgetone only knows how to speak Ethernet. Budgetone runs up to a switch which is setting behind the Macintosh, which is I'm using simply as a console so I can see the rest of the system operating. Switch goes down to this machine, which is running Asterix. How many people here saw the Asterix presentation? Excellent! We got 2 people who've seen the presentation, which means I didn't. So I have no idea what he said. Anyway, Asterix machine translates SIP over into a Zaptel interface. Zaptel is an interface developed by Digium, which ends up giving you something that looks like a POTS line out of the back of your computer. POTS line comes out into this 1970s era red phone that is falling apart and has no ringer anymore. The ringer was summarily removed at some point in its previous life. I think through a pair of wire cutters, and I think I did it. I just don't know. At that point, this gets slammed into a TRS-80 telephone interface 2. 300 baud acoustical coupler, 1 speed. This was my first modem. Okay. I used. This was the first. This was crazy enough, but I said it wasn't crazy enough. So I plugged a no modem cable in between the acoustical coupler and a MFJ TNC2 packet controller. This is so old of a packet controller, I picked it up for $10 at a ham swap. And the guy was willing to go down to $5, but I said, no, I'm not going to do that to you, buddy. I had to set this thing with dip switches for on-air speed and serial port speed. From there, it comes out of this as audio in this wire, microphone, speaker jack, which goes into my VX5R, which is No, it's the second most modern piece of hardware in the stack. The X5R transmits out to my truck, which is in the parking ramp at the side. The truck digipeats using AX.25 digipeating back to this radio sitting 3 inches away. This is, in fact, the most advanced section of the entire communication. This is a Kenwood THD7A, which has the neat feature of having a TNC built into the radio. Since there's a TNC built into the radio, I did not have to put an external TNC here and I lose another link. From that, it comes out as 9600 baud serial. No, I can't change the speed. It's hard-coded 9600 baud serial. At which point it ends at the terminal that Bunsen has been working on setting up. That's 10 links, 5 different encodings of the data stream, and the slowest connection is not the radio at 1200 baud. It is the acoustically coupled modems over VoIP at 300 baud. And it makes it from here to the parking ramp and back, plus however long you want to string these wires out. No, I'm on the secondary battery, as opposed to the primary or back. No, it's running on the... No. It's running on the secondary battery. I have the primary and the backup still. So it's all good. I will be able to start my vehicle tomorrow. Okay, so now I actually have to make this work. It was working over there 5 minutes ago. I swear. I have witnesses. Now I got to make it work again. Okay. Strider? Nearly there? Start explaining.
All right. Well, this is also a multi-link system. It's unidirectional. It starts off on this laptop. The interface is designed as a soundboard. You click on icons for letters, and those get sent over the sound card to a microphone, which is placed on top of the speaker. The samples you'll find out are actually Pokemon names and a couple miscellaneous song samples. Assuming that everything works fine, the second laptop will take those samples, it'll recognize them, it will then write files and reconstruct bytes using two sound packets rather, so that you can send alphabetic characters over to the second laptop. Behind the second laptop, you can't see it. There's a pink microcontroller which is currently broken. Much better. Just needed a reset. That converts the input data that the laptop gets to PPM, pulse position modulation, which then goes to a 6-meter transmitter, which is basically used for RC work. It's better suited to flying planes around, but there's no planes here. And I'm KC8IMD, as noted on the receiver, which is well, you can see it there. It's a little yellow dude that does semaphore with blue flags. Not quite yet. Oh, yeah, true. The back of him is 2 servos, standard servos with Lego gears, receiver and battery. Now that's then picked up by the camera, which goes back to this laptop again. So it didn't make it very far. Ground loop to the laptop. Right. The input device was supposed to be a Spark station, but a couple days ago it decided not to work, so I resorted to using this again. From this laptop, it goes out USB once again to an infrared transceiver, which then gets sent wirelessly to the Lego printer as ASCII characters. That's using the Lego Portable Network LPN. And this is Lego Printer 1, so it's LPT1. And that goes and that prints it out on ticker tape style, and that's the network. Well, it's a one-way communication, so the kernel couldn't panic. Which is very possible. Yeah, the printer prints on thermal paper with a glow plug. So if you see smoke, that's all part of the operation. It's all part of the show. And now I had to finish setting up, so I can give it back to Nate.
I'm absolutely fascinated by the image recognition going on here. I don't know if that video can capture much of this, but the view of the semaphore man here has the blue flags in boxes, and as the flag moves into a box, a little X appears in the box, showing that the software has recognized the flag moving. Coolest thing ever. The Java Media Framework for Image Recognition. Okay. I was coming. All right. Any more audience questions? Anybody? I'm going to ask later about more details about how this image recognition works. But what else is everyone interested in? All right. Let's kind of keyboard goes over audio samples into microphone, goes over serial to the PIC, goes over PPM to the radio, goes over radio to the receiver, goes over PPM again to the servos, goes over physically modulated free space optics to the camera, goes over, what is that, FireWire? To the laptop, where it's decoded back into ASCII, goes over USB to the infrared transceiver, infrared to the printer, and then the printout. Do we count paper as a link? 10.
Yeah.
It's an even heat. So in the announcement for the contest, I said there were prizes for fastest, slowest, longest, most varied, and most absurd. Oh boy, this is going to be tough to judge. Well, the 300 baud is actually the fastest, because the little semaphore dude over here is like, I don't know, 0.2 characters per second or so. If that. Oh, and the printing's even slower. Yeah, because that glow plug takes a long time to heat up and cool off, and then move to the next pixel, heat up, cool off, move to the next pixel, move to the next pixel. Yeah, for an RC plane. You know, he's got all this RC plane gear. He just pulled it out. A little big. Yeah. Smoke signals are acceptable. If you want to enter smoke signals next year, please. Well, it's outside. Okay. All right, so you'll have to build that into your truck and bounce it out by radio, smoke signal it to yourself, and send it back in. Yeah. See, there are ideas galore here. This is what this contest is for. Do the most ridiculous thing you can, and get points and prizes. Where'd the prizes go? I think the prize box is next door. Cool, thanks. Alright, how's the setup going here?